Sir, we are live. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Ambedkar Caravan page. Today we have a distinguished guest with us, Brother Bejwada Wilson, Raman Magsaysay awardee and convener of Safai Karmachari Andolan. Today, in this period of lockdown and epidemic, we are going to discuss how it is affecting the life of millions of people who are involved in sanitation work. You all know manual scavenging was banned several years ago, but it continues to exist even today. This one of the most demeaning practice and has claimed several lives in sewage and manholes. With Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which started in 2014, which nurtures manual scavenging and reinstate caste-based occupation, there is no concrete effort by the government to resolve the issues on water disposable and sanitation systems. Sanitation workers provide essential public service, but often at the cost of dignity, safety, health, and living conditions. There are many stages in this sanitation chain, from toilet to disposal. And if you take the numbers, every year human race produce 350 million tons of shit. And 1 gram of shit can be a hazardous, dangerous to the life. And in this situation, many our brothers and sisters from Dalit communities, from marginalized communities, are the soldiers to provide you safe public health. So in order to explore this situation in this epidemic, we like to share our views from our brother Bejwada Wilson. He doesn't require any introduction. He is known through his work across the country and outside. He has initiated number of campaigns in the mid-80s to end manual scavenging. He initiated Safai Karmachari Andolan in mid-90s, and thereafter engaged with many parliamentarians. He was also engaged with for the amendment of the Act of Prevention of Atrocities Act, for a new act on manual scavenging, the Prohibition of Employment and Manual Scavenging and their Rehabilitation Act, and also to frame a rules in 2013. He is also engaged at the national and international level for advocacy on to end these practices. So without taking much time, over to you, brother Bejwada Wilson.
Thank you, Jai Bhim. And this is an opportunity to actually to speak with all our friends and solidarity. In a very inhuman, obnoxious, and very problematic issue of the cleaning human beings, human shit in the dry latrines that we address as a manual scavenging. Then second is there is a practice of the actually cleaning the streets, collecting the garbage and all other things. And hospitals, there also many disposables, everything cleaning also very problematic during this time. So today we are taking just a view of a thing, how the governments or the states, whatever, they are providing the or taking the services of the sanitation workers, providing the safety and the dignity. These two we are going to just few minutes we can discuss. Must treat as equal. That is not is happening in India. That is a major point which I want to raise. So we are not believing equality. If we are not believing equality, if we are not unable to or not willing here in this country, everybody we make definitely by accident also the mistake. Because it is not just thinking that you are providing something, oh, we are providing the mask. Yes, of course, in few municipalities, they might have provided the mask. It is not the providing the mask or the gloves or not providing. It is in a matter of actually whether you are going to treat or you are doing a kind of an inequality while distributing the mask to the sanitation workers. My question today,
some internet issue.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So there is no proper salaries. So the number one is sanitation workers past 3 months, they are not getting their salary. And we talk about many things. When we ask them anything about say that every half an hour we have to wash our hands to protect from the virus. Of course, that is the good. And you can say that in the your mobile, when you call somebody once, it will say every half an hour you wash. But the irony is the people who are cleaning our streets, they were not even getting the drinking water. Can you mention in this great country any one local body which is providing the water bottle or the water supply to the people? We have closed all the doors of the houses. There are no restaurants. There are nothing in the streets. And the
Anna, your voice is breaking.
Our other nurses and all others, we are providing some other accommodation. For sanitation workers, we are asking anywhere there is an ashram or somewhere, you go and stay there. So why this kind of a double standard? So essential service means everything essential. Whether it is a sanitation, whether it is a very low or medium or high or anything. I am not asking you treat this as a high. I am saying that you have to treat if it is essential. If it is not essential, better you stop cleaning them. So if you feel that is an essential, I am not talking about the people belongs to the scheduled caste anything. But the point here is because they are all from the scheduled caste and the Dalits, the governments are making this kind of a treatment. So my point here is whether you want that treat that as an essential, not a It is a slavery. The practice is still continuing. And of course, the mask, personal protective equipments, nowhere they are given. Even one place, if they give the one mask, you can't continue with the same mask forever. Like 3 days, 4 days, you have to change. You have not done that. And no gloves, no shoe, no. I am not demanding something. I want to see and locate very clearly how the casteist mindset worked even in the times of the pandemic. And that barbaric practice, thinking about the poor, oppressed, marginalized, that must change. That is the most important. As a Ambedkarite, we want to make our point very clear. Even the people who are walking on the street, why the government cannot provide any transport facility to them? When the people who are able to go by the walking and on the road they are dying, but the people here in the ruling, whoever is ruling, they are not even talking a single word about that. And the virus also, you created very class, like when it is affecting the rich, the government, everybody will rush and make all the steps. My question here, we don't even take a single step for that. Before you know that there is a kind of a pandemic is going to attack India, then everybody comes 25th March, particularly the Prime Minister, and within the 4 hours he announced and say that you cannot come out, lock all your door, everything, and put a Lakshmana Rekha and sit in the house. When people are dying in the sewer line and septic tank, why the same Prime Minister is not coming and telling even a single word all these years? That is what I want to make my point very clear. We don't want any glory. Who is going and dying, they are not for the dignity they are entering. Without any kind of a situation, there is nothing to eat, there is no any kind of a economic background. In such circumstances, there is whole resources as captured by the so-called the rich people and the dominant caste. So say that they are doing the greatest job. It is not the greatest. We are practicing, we are reinstigating slavery, untouchability, and that you cannot glorify. And you cannot go flowering on them. Pul barsao. What is this? You are throwing, putting the flowers on the people who are dying there. This is an humanity. So we must understand we are doing a fundamentally a wrong understanding about the whole dignity, self-respect of the human beings, of the citizens. That is what is on my point. Look from the lens. Look. There is the fraternity. Can you think about in the country where we are living as a fraternity? We are all living together? No, it is not absolutely. So that things we have to bring. And the time of the pandemic situation also, the corona times also, we are unable to come out of our caste. I'm just saying one point, I'm closing now. Very clearly, in the name of the coronavirus, we are saying that we have to maintain social distance. That is what the Indian society is practicing past 5,000 years. And here, in the name of the coronavirus, you are justifying whatever you are did. So we fought against the social distancing all this year. Now in the name of the corona, again you say that we have to follow the corona. No, there is no corona anything. It is not the social distance. It is a physical distance. And we can say that virus should not transmit from another person. That does not mean that when the people are dying on the street, people are struggling even without the food. Nobody is going close to them because everybody is saying that social distance. So social distance should not prevent a person to actually support, show the solidarity and show the humanity. This is a very kind of a misunderstanding which is propagating by the many people, that we have to condemn, and we have to say very clearly, all the human beings together, we must protect, we must respect each other in the same way, even
some network issue. Anna, can you repeat the last sort of things, because there was a network issue.
So I said that towards the end, that even during the pandemic situation, at least all the citizens have to come forward to go and support. And you can have the protective gear. That's not a problem. But you cannot say that distancing, which is a very difficult, from namaskar to shake hand, it has taken the 5,000 years. In the name of the corona, from shake hand to the maintaining the distance, it is a very, very wrong step. And it is going to be the historical mistake which is we are propagating. That should not be there. We have to build the society where the fraternity.
We are again getting disconnected. Yeah, thank you, Anna. It was very, very sharp, very clear. Very, very clear. The points you raised with respect to issue of manual scavenging in the period of pandemic. It's not only the issue of equipments or giving protective gears, but the entire way the issue is being treated at a various level by the entire tier of the government, may it be at national level, may it be at state level, or may it be at municipal level. Anna, in normal times, when we look at the figures published by the National Commission for Safai Karmachari itself, in first 6 months, there were more than 50 deaths in 8 states. That what the National Commission report says. So in the period of pandemic, that is the figure. Only in 8 states for the first 6 months. How you have experienced through the network of Safai Karmachari Andolan in this period of pandemic? What is the situation? Anna, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I was saying that in a normal circumstances, National Commission report says that in the first 6 months of 2019, there were 50 deaths in 8 states out of 36 states and union territories. So what is the situation? How you assess how Safai Karmachari Andolan has assessed the situation in this period of pandemic?
See, the problem here is to the either to the pandemic situation or to the manual scavenging. Governments are not actually doing any homework or the groundwork before launching. Like a lockdown, they just announced that you lock everything. Like there was no preparedness for that, and it is not such a secret, or it is not declaring the war. It is in a virus which is going to attack. So which everybody must.
Uh,
And they have constructed almost like they are claiming that 20 crore toilets they constructed. Before constructing, either the Prime Minister or the government of India or the Swachh Bharat mission, they have not even made any innovation to develop a kind of a small mission which is going to be span of the 5 years. If you are bringing the 20 crore extra toilets without any kind of apparatus which machine can clean, which welcomes more people to come and enter into the septic tanks. That's the reason the toll rate of the people who are losing their life is increasing. Before the Swachh Bharat, after the Swachh Bharat, it is usually it is increasing. It is a common that everybody knows. We said that there is a problem of the manual scavenging, and that is we have
Anna, can you switch on to other network?
or the drainage pipes, nothing, and they have not made or demolished the dry latrines, whereas they came with a World Bank or some kind of a UN agencies, their agenda of the open defecation free. So they want to announce India as what is that? So we are going outside. That is the greatest achievement. We have to say that in my great country, within 5 years, there is no unemployment, there is no poverty, there is no hunger death, there is no discrimination, there is no atrocity, there is no any rape attack on the Dalit women. If you could have announced this, we could have welcomed and we could have said it is a good. So my very clear point here is very, very clear. They want to actually, without doing any preparedness, they will announce everything. And why it is happening? Because entering into the silver line, they are losing their life. How do we prevent the life? That we are not thinking. Because our idea comes from the casteist mindset. That is what I want to, I go back to my previous first comment very clearly. Unless we take out the casteist mindset, if you don't wipe out that caste, no. You must first respect the equality. You must respect, you must trust, and you must believe that on the equality. The problem here is they are not believing. That's the reason they're continuously making the one mistake. They can say that it is a mistake, but I can say the blunders, the blunder after the blunder, including the pandemic situation. They did the blunder. That's the reason the poor are dying on the streets and on the roads and walking. And it is a
Yeah, that's very rightly said, Anna. That government is doing blunder uh, with and the program you cited, Swachh Bharat Mission. We can very well see that major component or major allocation in this Swachh Bharat Mission is being through the Dalit Adivasi budget. But when it comes to uh, self-employment scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavenging, the amount allocated is very less. So yes, you are very right that government is not preparing, not taking a stock of the situation and doing blunders. That's very rightly pointed out. Anna, taking into those figures of the government itself, like according to the caste census, socio-economic caste census in 2011, it cited that 1,82,505 families in rural India are engaged into manual scavenging. And in 2017, Government of India says that they have been come out of the situation. What's your experience, sir?
Has declared that there is no manual scavenging and it has been already eradicated by 2015. So 16, again, we put our efforts with the Niti Aayog and we met the vice president of the Niti Aayog and many people. They constituted a task group, a small group, and we started collecting the data in the 56 or 57 districts across the country, only 57. So there, then it has increased to the 80 districts. So 80 districts where we have given a data in district level, many people, particularly the district magistrate, refused to take our data. So we felt that it is a better to actually continue the survey along with the or by the National Safai Karmacharis Finance and Development Corporation, which is an agency under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So if they conduct the survey, they cannot deny that fact. So we have given some kind of a data to them. Many people and despite of all those problems, finally they have arrived with the first 58,000 or something, the data of the manual scale. This is the exclusively dry latrine cleaners. We are not talking about the sewage, septic tank or any, only dry latrine cleaners. And there is a much more. So the survey is still going on. So I got a letter from the Ministry of Social Justice stating in the January, and I fought and I said that the survey must
still the connectivity issue. It's a very important point.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Please go on.
They said that whatever the data you are going to submit to us, that is deemed to be a final data. For after that, you should not give even. I said that completely. This is in a letter itself. We have a right to tell you that there is a scavenging, and you have a responsibility to come and eradicate the scavenging and rehabilitate the scavenger. We will not agree for that. By the time the lockdown and all things happen, and that struggle is still going on. But my submission is there is a manual scavenging. There are the dry latrines still in the country. And our estimation is 1.6 lakhs of the women still they are carrying the same kind of a practice in almost like a
We lost you, Anna, again.
We are waiting for that.
Right, right. Anna, while talking on this issue at a global level, how you see the situation of countries like South Africa, Kenya, where some sort of practices in sanitations are there, and how it has been improved vis-a-vis countries like India?
See, there are the Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia, and Congo Republic or something, and this side Indonesia and Bangladesh, Nepal, and all. They accepted that the practice is there, and they started trying day by day, improving certain things, and they are improving the sanitation system facilities, and the same time the people who are involved both together. But whereas in India, our actually the people who are there at the working, but we have we filed an affidavit to the Supreme Court in 2009 stating that our district is a manual scavenging free. So if it is a 2008, it is a manual scavenging free. In 2019, I can't again give the data. Let us see, is there some other way? So why the some other way? There is only one way that they have to follow. So the honesty is a problem here. And our what it is called, our mechanisms which can actually tackle the situations are very, very weak. We don't have such kind of a mechanisms, and our law enforcing authorities were very, very weak. If you go on the complaint in police station also, they will say that if somebody is doing that for their masburi, for their own food, they are cleaning. So why are you coming and filing? So they're not receiving the complaint. See, if you receive the complaint only, it can go to the next level. And you go to the minister also. Minister will say that you give the list, we will. So if that starts, the things will again fall on the track.
That's very valid point, Anna, that the enforcement mechanism which we have today has betrayed us. Though there were some problems with the act itself, when we try to see 1993 act, it was incriminating. It was toothless act. Then we come up with a new act in 2013. We see some provisions over there. We see also amendment in 2015 in Prevention of Atrocities Act, where manual scavenging is being asked to be registered as an atrocity case. Can you hear? Hello? We lost him again. Anna, can you hear?
Now I can hear.
Yeah. So enforcement mechanism is certainly problem with when it comes to social legislations.
Yes.
May it be Prevention of Atrocities Act, may it be Devdasi Act, may it be Bonded Labor Act, or Manual Scavenging Act. Certainly, good monitoring agency on these social legislations is very much essential. But I want to take you back when you filed an public interest litigation in Supreme Court, and with all those data exercised by all those partners organizations across the country who collected the data, with all those evidences, you went again back to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court again asked you to go to the respective high courts. So how you see that the different chambers, different bodies of government will address this issue of manual scavenging?
Walker asked us to file the case. But S.R. Shankaran said that we will collect and we will see that let the law enforcing agencies, how they are going to do across the country, assess that, then we can go to the court. 2003 we went, which means we waited almost like a 1 decade, 93. Seven individual Safai Karmacharis and another 7 organizations together. But there we said very clearly, this is a strict implementation of the act which is passed by the parliament, nothing else. But the Supreme Court at almost like a 2003 to 2014, 11 years with the Chief Justice Court and many judges, almost like a 27 judges has heard this case, almost like a 38, 39 hearings. And finally they said that legal
voice is breaking again.
Now it is working.
Yeah. Yes, that's the thing. But what when we have no strong monitoring, how you see that this redressal mechanism should be built up in case of to end manual scavenging, and also the implementation of this new legislation?
That is what is the most important. There are the two things. When the courts, judiciary is saying that you have to go for the administrative measure. And if it is not working, you can go to the high courts not to, which means indirectly they are saying that for this kind of a matters, you should not come to the Supreme Court. That is what is the indirectly they are saying. So dignity of the citizens is not a matter for the Supreme Court. That is what they given the indirect judgment. And they are asking you go for the court of this land, which is saying that you go for the again administrative measure. So you know that how they are throwing this coin to the other level without giving any. So justice also denied. It is not the truth is denied by the administration. Justice denied by the Supreme Court of India and the Chief Justices, and the Chief Justice given the judgment. We have to understand that.
And now we lost you again.
So without the citizens' active participation, no act can be implementable. That is what Baba Sahib Ambedkar said. So we are now trying actually active participation. Say filing the case and waiting and submitting evidences, again arguing. This is made whole in the system of the democracy. The democratic space is widening, where we are putting our points very clear. We started questioning the authority. Otherwise, in 1993, before and all, people say that if the scavenger, a bungie cleaning or the scavenger cleaning the shit, what wrong is there? If they don't get their wages only is the problem. Cleaning is not the problem. So from there, we have raised step by step to go and ask. And somewhere they said that you cannot question your higher authority. So a scavenger cannot go and ask the supervisor also. But here we started questioning the chief secretaries, all the states. So there is and we started asking the Supreme Court also. So which means what? Dalits are not going to keep quiet for their rights. They will go to the any extent to get their rights. And we establish our rights. We enjoy our rights, which means the democratic space is widening in this great country. Without having the rights for the Dalits, you cannot make or establish the democracy in the country. Either the republic or democracy, the only very stick is how the least or the marginalized socially and economically or whatever marginalized, even minorities, Adivasis, their lifestyle is only how they are enjoying their freedom and their fraternity. That is only is the yardstick.
Right. So your experience says that Supreme Court is suggesting you to become Atmanirbhar.
Yes.
Prime Minister is also suggesting you in terms of pandemic that you have to be Atmanirbhar, and administration is not entertaining at all.
Yes.
When it comes to data, when it comes to identification of manual scavenging, or when it comes to the implementation. But there was a judgment, Anna, where Supreme Court says, I know you have worked and you have to go, but there are few questions coming up, and some are very important questions. Anna, can we take some of the questions?
One or two.
Okay. So I will break that conversation and I will directly come to question. There is one question one regarding smart cities. You already said that before Swachh Bharat and after Swachh Bharat, there is sort of increase in deaths. But we lost him again. There is some connectivity issue. Major problem with the connectivity.
Video off karo.
Yeah. वीडियो ठीक है, देखते हैं, स्टॉप वीडियो करके देखते हैं. So Anna, there was a question whether smart cities and using of technology, do you see a role in growing use of technology to institutionalize manual scavenging, or it is rather improving or worsening the condition of manual scavengers?
Cleaning, whatever it is, that has to be eradicated. There is no mechanization, there is no modernization, nothing. It is in 100%. You have to demolish the dry littering and you have to have the flush out toilet, and the person, whoever is cleaning, they must get the dignified.
No, Anna, we lost you again.
Okay. Can you now?
Yeah. Please go on.
So the sewage and septic tank, there the mechanization is required. Without the human intervention, how are we going to clean our pits? How are we going to clean our muck in the sewage? That we have to actually deal with the mechanized solution only. We cannot think that it is an institution. No. It is not institutional. The problem is if the scavengers only is going inside and coming only. Tomorrow, if the machine come, every caste, everybody will come and they also will say that we are also doing. So it is not like a institutionalizing the caste. Actually, economic development for the community may also improve their living and working conditions. So that is also that. Whereas in a private cleaning somebody is doing, for such people, mechanized way of the cleaning, then thereby one step forward. They no need to enter into the manhole, and machine will go and it clean. You will become like an operator of the machine. Nobody can call you as a scavenger during that time.
Right.
So
Right.
that kind of a change is a welcome that is happening in all the countries, including the whatever the developed countries everywhere.
Yeah, Anna, two more questions and then we can take a leave. When everywhere everybody is afraid of this corona, government is asking not to go outside, but sanitation workers, conservancy workers are being asked and forced to go out. Are not they afraid of corona?
Most of the people, they are afraid of going out, and there are certain people, very particular, very limited, they say of the caste and the caste values. That is also there. When they go on the street, while going back to home, they are afraid whether we are going to take the virus to the home, because the government is not providing any safety gear to them, and there is no Dettol, there is no soap, there is no water to wash, and there is no water to take bath, and they go home. So they are afraid we may put the problem at the virus is not going to be wiped out immediately tomorrow or after tomorrow. So the government has to come with a comprehensive action plan, how they are going to prevent the further transmission of the virus from the shit and from the drains. But they must understand exactly how are we going to protect the life of the sanitation workers,
Yeah.
future, without attacking by the virus.
Right. That's very well put. Two more questions and one more thing, Anna.
Always true only, sir.
Leave no one behind is the slogan of developmental goal, sustainable development goal, and it's been sort of published everywhere. How do you think the SDG framework will provide an opportunity to improve the situation of sanitation workers?
Any kind of a programmatic interventions. The word is there, leave no one behind, but we are not making any kind of that kind of interventions, particularly programmatic interventions to actually bring back the people whom we have already left. That effort is not happening consciously. Including the UN, they have to take this as a special effort to bring actually the people whom we have left very long back, is in a special category. That is all these Dalits, Adivasis, particularly marginalized, and the people who are working in the very difficult situations, particularly manual scavenging. This has to, they have to put as in a separate category, and special focus, emphasis should be there on them for the separate and very systematic programmatic interventions.
Yeah. Anna, regarding this virus, WHO stated before Digital India, India needs to think of Digital Delhi. Lot of connectivity issue in the Delhi itself. Anna, WHO said that we have to live with this virus for a period of time, right?
Yes.
Scientists may come up with vaccination in a year or 2 years time. India is a nation, India is a young nation. In order to kill this caste virus and its heinous practices like manual scavenging, what's your message for the young Indians?
See, actually, there is a possibility, there is a progressive thinking people, the youngsters, the upcoming generation, whoever are there. We can't say that nobody is there. The new generation, whichever is coming now, they are really from the schools and the colleges. But the problem is when they grow, again, they are also falling on the trap of like this virus. So they have to come out of the virus and they have to think and they have to how we are taking.
Now we lost you.
Now is okay?
Yeah.
They have to put themselves into a situation of the lockdown, that is lockdown from the casteist society, and they have to protect themselves. And all the people like us who already affected by the caste, we have to show the solidarity to that youngsters, and we have to protect them actually from the virus of the caste. Otherwise, the virus is that. Again, we lost, I think.
Again, we lost. Can you repeat the last sentence and then?
So I closed here very clearly that we, the people who affected by the caste, we have to show the solidarity and support to.
Thank you, Brother Wilson. We again lost the connectivity. That's the excellent remark you said. That we have to extend solidarity to young Indians so that we can fight not only the coronavirus but the caste virus which is in this country from generations, and for which we need to go back to the literature of social reformer like Mahatma Phule and Baba Sahib to prepare vaccination against such caste heinous viruses which manifested into rapes, which manifest into deaths of Dalits, which manifest into deaths of Adivasis, and number of heinous crimes are committed against them. Thank you, brother.
Maybe.
Jai Bhim.
Maybe.